The Seder of Behaalotcha has a fascinating narrative when the Jewish people who weren't able to offer up the Pesach sacrifice approached Moshe Rabbeinu, desperate to do one more mitzvah, even though, strictly speaking, they were exempt. They had no obligation, but they felt that there was a real lack in their lives. They wanted to perform the Korban Pesach. Moshe, not knowing exactly what the law should be, I mean, this was the first time, it hadn't come up previously, tells the Jewish people, Vayom alehem Moshe, imdu ve'eshma, you just stand and wait. I'll go and talk to Hashem. He'll tell me what I have to do, and I'll come back and report the information to you. Based on this narrative, the Rambam comes up with a principle that Moshe Rabbeinu was unique in his level of prophecy. Shirak Moshe Rabbeinu zachal madrigazu. Only Moshe merited this particular spiritual status. He's able to speak directly to Hashem whenever he wanted. But Shara Nevi'im, all the other prophets, they would have to wait till Hashem wanted to speak with them. That then the divine presence would rest upon them. It was totally not dependent on their desire to speak with Hashem, but Hashem's desire to speak with them. Establishing a principle of Moshe Rabbeinu's prophecy was totally unique, unlike everybody else's. Now it comes to the end of Moshe's life in Yehoshua, who's literally been there through thick and thin, stood by Moshe Rabbeinu's side throughout the whole journey, has an opportunity, one last chance to speak to his master before Moshe Rabbeinu leaves the scene and Yehoshua takes over. And the Gemara tells us, Moshe was about to die. He says to Yehoshua, ask me anything that you don't know, I'll tell you. Yehoshua says, but I know it all. I never left. I can't think what I don't know. And at that moment, there was a judgment against Yehoshua, and his almost like the hard drive was wiped clean. He was made to forget so many mitzvot, so many rules. He was struck dumb, and then the people were not too pleased with him, and they had to learn the laws again from the principles that Moshe Rabbeinu had told him. But what was so wrong with that? It wasn't a lie. He couldn't say, "Oh yeah, teach me," because he knew it all. What Moshe Rabbeinu failed to appreciate was what Yehoshua failed to appreciate was Moshe Rabbeinu's unique status. And as the Gemara puts out, the earlier generations were like angels, and we are lower level than them, and if they were lower, we were even lower than them. No, we failed to appreciate the greatness of the generation that comes before us, the ones who are closer to the Sinai experience. Moshe Rabbeinu was the closest. And at this moment, Yehoshua should have seized the opportunity to engage with him one more time. I'm your student. Tell me what you think I need to know. When we think about our own teachers, do we recognize their status? Do we recognize the significance of their Torah knowledge? I remember in yeshiva one time, one of the great rabbis, Rabbi Benjy came over to us, and with all his humility, he says to us, little tiny 18-year-olds, we knew nothing, absolutely nothing. I remember saying to us, I feel so sorry for you. We're like, but you're so great. Why do you feel sorry for us? He says, like, who are your great rabbis? He said, I learned in America, I had all these incredible influences, and who are yours? And we looked at him like, well, you and the other rabbis? We have to build an appreciation that rabbis are not just paid employees of a shul or teachers in a school. Those people that lived before us are closer to Sinai, closer to the truth. Do we appreciate them? Do we seize opportunities to learn from them? Or do we convince ourselves we know it all and we don't really need to be taught? Let us daven to have teachers that want to make us, their students, to be worthy of being their students, and for every single person to appreciate the generation that came before them and the beauty and the authenticity in the Torah that they can bring us. Shabbat Shalom.